Schwab. Chairman Schwab. I'm from Japan. May I ask
From?
you for? I'm from Japan.
Yeah?
And may I ask you for a comment?
No,
We're on our way to the next thing. We're a bit late.
I
but
can
thank
just
you.
walk with
Thank
you and then ask
I think
questions.
we're gonna rush actually. But thank you. Thanks very much.
Which media are you with?
I am an independent journalist from
Yeah,
Japan.
no, thank you very much.
Yes.
I have to ask. Thank you.
Thank you.
But I want to ask just one question. Thank you.
Take care of yourself.
Where are you based?
I can just walk and ask you.
Yeah, we're not.
Thank you. No, sorry, we're in a big rush. We've got so many things tonight.
But for us,
but thank you.
It's very precious
I
moment.
know. You can. He's got so many people stopping that if you were to stop for everything,
Yeah, I know.
we win. That's the unfortunate. So I'm very sorry, but thank you.
But
thank you for trying.
Do you know the voice that worry about globalism?
Thank you.
There are many
Thank you.
concerns.
Nice evening. Thank you. Thank you.
How did you ever totally get control of these Christian churches who at one time told their congregations to stay away from you? How did that happen? Well, you know, our Father Lucifer, all the organizations out there on the earth that we would want to infiltrate and take over of Ugoyim obviously would be the churches. So we attacked them first, and we attacked them most. And we infiltrated the Catholic Church right from the very beginning. Why do you think the Pope and all the cardinals and the bishops wear a yarmulke? The white race never figures this out. And so then we took all your books that had all your scriptures in there, and we burned them. And then we wrote them in Latin so that you couldn't understand them. But we understood Latin because we're Jews and we're smart and we're educated. But you, Goyim out there, you never teach yourself. You don't self-teach. You're always looking for somebody else to do it for you. So you wind up being schleppers all your life.
Alright, peace, y'all. Peace. Alright, so this is gonna be a sequel to the Illuminati cards game. I had a lot of people asking me to do a part 2 for this video. So I found some interesting things in the deck as well. You know, a lot of stuff that people didn't actually cover on these type of topics, but I'm gonna break it down as well too. Now, people don't even notice this, all right? Now, the next card I want to discuss is going to be the Cyborg Soldiers card, okay? The Cyborg Soldiers card. Now, the Cyborg Soldiers card, right, is basically a representation of what we see today, okay? If you guys didn't know, a lot of police are actually getting equipped with robot dogs, okay? Now, we already know that artificial intelligence is on its way here, all right? This is no secret. It's not a surprise to anyone at this point in time, but I believe that they're going to start equipping a lot of these robots with weapons, okay, to basically conform humanity, to make us bow down. Because like I said, you're not going to be able to defeat these things at all. You know, your bullets that you shoot at it won't stop any of these things, all right? As you can see here, they have drones with guns attached to them. So this is going to be a new form, okay, or a new way of tactics. This is why they have the whole defund the police situation going on, right? Because they want to go with the whole concept of out with the old and with the new, all right? Now, this next card here, which is the Eat the Rich card, right? So it says here, carefully orchestrating the media, you create an insane groundwell of anger, blaming the wealthy and powerful for everything, all right? So now, how would they actually know that this would be a situation that would actually take place? Okay, now, if there happens to be a purge, right? A lot of these wealthy individuals will be the first ones, okay, on the list, all right? Which is why we see a lot of these celebrities, their houses are being broken into and things of that nature. So it's all structured and designed, okay, for this, all right? But this card right here is a representation of them playing the ploy of going after the rich. All right, because now, like I said, when these people have money, you know, they're still merely just puppets. All right, they're just puppets on a string. All right, they're just playing the game to deceive us. But all the while, the people at the top of the pyramid, they don't care about them at all either. All right, they don't care about them at all. This is why a lot of these celebrities are so-called woke now, or waking up from this spell that they've been in, and they want to inform the people all of a sudden, because they know that their tactics of misleading us has worn off now. All right, and now they want to game the side of the people. All right, but they're still not to be trusted at all. All right. Now, this next card consists of time warp. All right, now the time warp situation goes in hand in hand with the Mandela effect. Now, some of you may know about the Mandela effect and what it represents, right? But if you don't, I'm going to explain it to you. Now, the Mandela effect is a situation that arose maybe about a few years ago, right? Where they were saying that a lot of situations that took place in the past are no longer there anymore. All right, so you had some situations where they said Sinbad actually played as a genie, right?
And to answer the $1 million question, did I do Shazam? No. Did I look like I do Shazam? Yes. Did I do Shazam? No. Did I look like I do Shazam? Yes.
1997. Yeah. Welcome to Good Burger. Can I take your order? Yep. And then you do damn Shazam, right?
No, it never happened. There's no Shazam.
Wait a minute. The movie was bad.
No, everybody thinks Shazam is the Mandela effect. Everybody swears I did a movie called Shazam. Now think about this. How could I have done it? How could I have done it? Sinbad,
the
whole genie. The genie thing turned into the Sinbad the sailor turned into a genie.
So maybe it was a movie prank. Maybe it was a prank. Maybe they put.
No, it was. Well, I put in April of 2 years ago, a couple years ago, with my son, we did a fake scene for Shazam on April Fool's Day. And nobody picked that up. That was a fake scene with a shirt that I wear on stage.
So Sinbad, were you a genie back in the day?
No, man. It was a lot. Everybody thought it was Shazam. It started about 2008, 2000. I don't even know how it got started. I don't even know how it started. Then it got to the point. People remember the same scene. They only remember one scene, me and two little kids. They don't remember no other part of the movie. And everybody says, I watched it as a kid. I said, okay, all you people watched it. I would give $10,000. I put it online. I would give $10,000 to anybody to bring up the videotape. Everybody got fake boxes. They Photoshop boxes. I said, where is the tape in the box? Because everybody got these good boxes.
So it's the Mandela effect.
It's beyond that. It's beyond it, because Mandela was in prison. You know, the Bernstein Bears, the were bears. There was never a Shazam. There was never a genie movie. So this one has no basis on anything. To the point where people think I stole all the tapes back.
Dude, Sinbad was the genie.
See, Carly, you know, Carly, I wish I knew where you live so I could come by there and just tell you to your face. It never happened. And you never saw it. You should go to rehab.
From Small Town Pete on Twitter?
So you can see there, Sinbad is actually in denial of this, right? But in all the while, these things do take place, all right? There have been plenty of people that have outed these Mandela effects, all right? There's similar situations and people reported on these things, but like I said, this time warp card represents the Mandela effect. And how would they know that this would happen? All right, because these people, like I said, these people that are using this card game, all right, to actually plan out certain events, okay, it's all there. All right, I took the most of the important cards and discussed on them. So I'm going to keep going for y'all. All right. Now, this imposter card, all right, is a representation, in my opinion, of Joe Biden. Okay, now we all know that Joe Biden is a staged puppet. Okay, he is basically a person or a clone or a robot. We don't know what he is, right? But he's quoting, all right, what the media is telling him. If you guys never saw the movie Wag the Dog, I would advise you to check that out. But here's a clip from that movie that lets you know that politicians or presidents are playing a game. All right, so as you can see there, none of this stuff is real. It's all a stage. All right, so when we take a look at the imposter card, it's a representation to let you know that a lot of these presidents are already handpicked from the beginning. All right, it goes down to bloodlines as well. A lot of them are connected through bloodlines. There have been stories of Obama being actually related to George Bush and so on and so forth. The rabbit hole goes deep. All right, but yeah, this stuff is real. It definitely is real. All right, so this next card here is the currency speculation card. All right, now this goes in hand to hand. As you can see, there's a hand right here that's actually flipping a gold coin. Now, this gold coin is a representation of what? The Bitcoin. All right, the Bitcoin that is going to take over. Now, if we pay attention, right, the Bitcoin is one of the most popular forms of currency in today's day and age. All right, but this coin has been created through the BRICS Corporation. Okay, yes, BRICS, B-R-I-C-S, BRICS. Now, these are all demographics or countries that have come together and collided what is basically an economic system. All right, so now when we see that these people in the World Economics Forum, right, collaborating and trying to build a central banking digital currency, right, this is what they're pushing, this whole agenda of currency speculation. Okay, so now the word speculation means to assume, right? But to assume that the Bitcoin, all right, is going to be powerful is what they want us to do. Okay, so now this is actually, when we do this, we're actually giving more control to this form of currency, all right, to this actual form of currency. But I found this card to be very ironic, because how would they know that a gold coin, which is another form of the Bitcoin, would actually take place? Like I said, it's all planned. They already knew this stuff ahead of time. So, I mean, you know, some of you guys asked me, hey, Jay, should we get the card to basically know what they're planning? I mean, it's already done, so it doesn't, you know, it's not really going to make a difference. Now, the next card here is a card that goes in hand with the last card I mentioned, which is the bank merger. All right, so now, as you can see here, it's a depiction of big fish eat little fish, right? So you have the dollar bill sign on the smallest fish, right? And then you have the pounds, what looks to be the pound sign, all right? And then you have the yen, okay, being eaten by a bigger fish. And what is that bigger fish, guys? The Bitcoin, okay? So as you can see here, this is a chart of all different signs of currencies, right? So you have the Bitcoin, which is first. Then you have the dollar sign. Then you have the UK, the euro, all right? And then you have the yen. Okay, so now that's a representation of the structure of what's first to last. Okay, first to last. These people know what they're doing. When they're playing with our finances and they're closing banks, they already know this stuff is going to take place. All right, so this whole concept goes into the smaller banks, the smaller finances systems eating the larger ones, and then so on and so forth. Consistent debt. All right, consistent debt is what is represented. All right, now this card is interesting, right? Now I want y'all to pay attention here. All right, now this is the survivalist card. All right, now this is a representation that says here, this group gives you a whole power structure to resist any disaster. All right, the master of survivalists, and any puppet it has automatically get relief the turn after any devastation. Okay, this is a free action, it says. All right, but now if you look at this card very closely, okay, there appears to be a military man smoking a cigarette. All right, now on the left side of him, there is something that says toilet paper. All right, now let's go back a few years when there was a shortage on toilet papers during the pandemic, right? And now they're saying there's a shortage on ammunition, okay, and beer and all of this stuff, right? But this guy has a bulk load, all right, of toilet paper and ammunition, okay? Now, this is a representation of people that go out and stockpile, all right? Now, there's nothing, I don't see anything wrong with stockpiling, but the only thing I do see wrong with that is that it leaves a lot of people in distraught, people that can't get ammunition and these things that are behind them, all right? Even though we know toilet paper is not actually important, all right? But the fact that they have this here on the card is kind of crazy to me, all right? Like, how did they know that this would take place? And a lot of people that are survivalists, they want, oh, let's go out and get more ammo and all of these things and food preparations. It's all a plan, man. It's all a plan. Now, this card here, which is the rewriting history card, right? It says here, any one alignment of any destroyed group may be retroactively added, removed, or reversed. All right. This can affect any goal which involves destroying a certain number of groups of some alignment. All right. Now, this is a representation of the new 10 commandments. All right. Now, we already know that the Jesuits of the Vatican are the ones that are in control of creating this new commandments, right? Because their whole concept derives from climate change, right? Climate control, right? There's so much carbon in there in the earth, so let's create a new 10 commandments that will tell people, okay, not to use the carbon. So when these people go back and try to look for these scribes, that it won't be there anymore. All right. They did the same thing with the Georgia Guidestones and destroying that. So a lot of these tablets that have this information, right, are being destroyed, and they're bringing up new doctrines. All right. They're bringing up new doctrines because they want us to follow a new thought pattern, right? So if they want us to follow a new thought pattern, what is the only way they could do that? Rewriting history, destroying and rebuilding. All right. So when we see a lot of this stuff taking place, this is why you guys got to have your own mind frame and think on your own, because the way that they're structuring this world is letting us know that everything we've been told has been a lie. It's all deception. All right. And they know this. All right. If you guys didn't pay attention, a lot of this stuff has already been in place since the beginning of time. All right. Now, this card right here, which is the MTV card, right? But it's showing two children watching the television screen, right? And they seem to be hypnotized, okay? Now, MTV is basically a depiction of MTV, okay? MTV, which came out in 1981. So if you could see here, this was the first broadcast that they showed on the channel MTV, right? Where there's an astronaut, okay, faking the moon landing. Now, I you know, some people say, yo, Jay, you can't believe in NASA. I don't believe in NASA, all right? But I have to be politically correct on YouTube. So a lot of people say, oh, man, you know, I know, you know, but you know, on YouTube, you have to be politically correct, all right? Because there's so many things that can be said as misinformation, and then, you know, I really want to just leave YouTube alone. So this is what I want to show you guys though. But this is a representation of MTV. All right, now if we pay attention to MTV, right, it shows us nothing but garbage. All right, since the beginning of time, rap videos, rock and roll, Satanism, reality TV shows, all of this crap that's not good for us and keeps us in a spell. All right, a lot of things have been projected on MTV. All right, but when we notice MTV, what is shot where? All right, in the Masonic Lodge. All right, This is all the same ploy. It's all the same ploy. They're all a part of this agenda to deceive the masses. All right. TV is garbage anyway. We already know that it's ran by Viacom. Viacom is connected to BET, VH1, MTV. So they all in cahoots with each other. All right. So this is why when we look at TV, it's showing us the same garbage. All right. So this card MTV, all right, it's not a representation of TV. It's a representation of MTV. All right. Empty television. All right. Now, this right here is, this card right here is called the Fiendish Fluoridators. All right. Now, we already know that there's crap in the water, right? There's been spots of fluoride being found in the water, atrazine. Okay, atrazine is actually bad for us because they did studies that showed that atrazine has actually turned frogs from male to female or female to male, right? So then when we ask ourselves, why is today's society so obsessed with gay culture, right? It's because there's atrazine in the water, and the more you drink tap water, okay, it's altering your chromosomes. All right, so now when we see this type of card here, this is a representation of poison being in the water. All right, but they already know this stuff. This is what I'm saying, y'all. How did they know that this would take place in 1983? Because, like I said, somebody somewhere knew that this was top secret information. All right, and they made it into a game to steer the narrative. All right, so now this card here, dollars for decency, is a representation of what we know today. All right, tithe. It says on the card here, tithe generously. All right, but if you tithe, okay, it's if you think about it, it's another form of gambling. All right, now I'm not shading anybody that pays their tithes or their offering or whatever the case may be. All right, but it's a form of gambling because when you give tithes to a church, right? Just think about it. When you give tithes to a church, okay, most people that tithe for a church, they're doing it in hopes of gaining something in return. If I give 10%, the Lord's gonna bless me, right? So that whole concept, all right, is basically gambling.
We're under the blood of Jesus, so we can't shoot and stone people like we used to. All we have to do is repent, and God will forgive us and take us where we need to be. But I tell you, man, if it wasn't for the blood, there'd be a whole lot of us being stoned and being in hell right now, but over the tithe. But for the blood of Jesus, we'd be doomed. I mean, I thought about when we first built the dome, I wanted to put some of those little moving bars and give everybody a little card. They stick it in a little computer slot. And if they were tithing, beautiful music would go off. And, you know, welcome, welcome, welcome to the world dome. But if they were non-tithers, the bar would lock up, the red and blue lights would start going, the siren would go off, and a voice would go throughout the entire dome. Crook, 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 crook. Security would go and apprehend them, and once we got them all together, we'd line them up in the front and pass out Uzis by the ushers. We'd point our Uzis right at all those non-tithing members because we want God to come to church. And at the count of 3 Jesuses, we'd shoot them all dead. And then we'd take them out the side door there, have a big hole, bury them, and go ahead and have church and have the anointing. Aren't you glad we're under the blood of Jesus? Because if we were not under the blood of Jesus, I would certainly try it.
All right, it's the same thing with this preacher here. When we see this preacher get arrested, all right, for scamming his congregation, it's all a ploy. All right, so when these people see this stuff, like I said about the TV preachers, you know, they all in cahoots, man. And a lot of this stuff we've been lied to. You know, if you're gonna read the word, you don't need somebody on a pulpit telling you anything about the word. All right, it's just basically a club on Sunday, if you ask me. All right, but yeah, we're gonna keep it moving though. All right, so this next card right here is a representation of what? The drought. Okay, now it says here, disaster. This is an attack to destroy any huge place. It does not require action. Its power is 24 if the target is coastal. Wow, coastal. So the drought, right, consists of what? food shortages. All right, we've been hearing about food shortages since the end of last year. All right, but like I said, they're never going to do it when they plan to. Okay, they're going to tell us that we're going to come across food shortages and things of that nature, but they want us to be unsuspected of these things. Okay, so if we're preparing for it, all right, then this is also a way. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of times they do these scare tactics for people to go out and purchase more towards the end of the year. If you didn't know, the fourth quarter is the biggest earning quarter of the year. All right, a lot of holidays around this time, so they'll pull out a lot of these tactics of go out and buy stuff and scare people. You know, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all of this crap. All right, to gain more money. All right, so around the time when tax comes, they can just recycle the money that, you know, you went out and spent. All right, but they already know what they're doing. This whole drought card is a representation of food shortages. All right, so when we see this, all right, as you can see, there's a skull there. All right, and it's appearing to be on a desert. Well, like I said, guys, it's no joking matter how they knew this was gonna particularly take place. I don't know. Now, this card right here is interesting. Okay, this is the Oregon Crud card. Now, this situation has actually been swept under the rug because if you guys didn't know, in December 2021, there was a deadly fungus, all right, called the Candida auris. All right, now this deadly fungus, which is still on the loose in Oregon, actually killed 6 people. Okay, now, how the heck would they know that this was going to take place in Oregon? All right, and it says disaster. This is an instant attack to destroy any place except a huge one. All right, so now a lot of people in Oregon are actually sick. All right, from this fungi disease that's going on out there. All right, now this is what I'm saying, y'all. These people are planning these attacks against civilization, and a lot of people are unaware of this. All right, you know, like I said, I don't know if these people in power are using these cards to play against humanity, but it seems kind of weird that a lot of this stuff is taking place, and you know, there's nothing that, you know, people can't stop it. You know, it's just weird to me. It's just, I'm gonna keep going though. Now, this card right here, the cattle mutilators, right, goes in hand to hand with who? The World Economics Forum and Bill Gates and all of them people, right, who apparently feel that cows, okay, are carbon. Okay, so now they want to get rid of the cows. What, why? Okay, why? They want to get rid of the cows and feed us what? Lab meat. Okay, if you guys didn't know, there was a study that just showed that salmon, okay, is actually modified meat as well. Okay, this stuff is all fake. All right, everything that we basically have been consuming is pretty much all fake. We already know they've been tampering with the chickens and all kind of nonsense. Okay, so now when we see that they are forcing the whole concept of lab meat on society, and by 2030 they want to stop world hunger. Yeah, because they're going to start producing more lab meat, all right? And this is going to be a consumption for humanity, all right? When you go to the supermarkets, it won't be steaks anymore. It'll be lab meat, okay? Basically, all right? If you guys don't know, a lot of that stuff can be duplicated, all right? You can make a steak with a 3D printer nowadays. It's sick, man. It's disgusting, but I mean, these people knew that this is a plan that they wanted to fulfill, so, you know. All right, now this card right here is a representation. It says here, the pale people in black. Now, if you are emo out there, I'm not throwing any shade on you or anything like that, but this is the emo agenda is something that's real. Okay, now it's an agenda that basically started to take place, I would say, in the late 90s. All right, in the late 90s. There were always emo people. You had Edward Scissorhands, who was a representation of the emo agenda, right? But this society was something new that came in around like I said, the late 90s. These people weren't, you know, self-inflicting and harming themselves and into these type of things early on, all right, but it became more popular. All right, now a lot of people don't believe me that the emo agenda is a specific group of people, all right, that consider themselves to be angry and mad at the world. As you can see here on the card, it says, oh, the despair, oh, the anger, all right. It's a representation of those emo people, all right. And now those emo individuals have been also linked to anarchism and Satanism, all right. But I'm gonna keep on going. I don't want to stay too long on that. Now, this next card, the subliminals card, right, is what we see in day-to-day media, all right? You have the Disneys that show sex here, but as you can see on this card, it has a bowl of ice cream, the word sex subliminally inscribed in it, all right? Also in the ice cubes, it says sex, right? Now, when we take a look at a lot of these podcasts, all right, they have a lot of the gay flags behind them, right? Because they want you to get a part of this agenda. It's an agenda that they're pushing, all right, believe it or not. All right, a lot of these people, they sold out to these organizations and groups, all right, and this is how they get paid, by pushing these agendas. And a lot of these LGBT communities, they fund these podcasts. All right, you don't know what kind of finances or money these people are taking under the table, all right, because this is a secret. It's a secret society, all right. They can't speak on certain things, but a lot of your favorite podcasters took that oath, all right. A lot of them did. Now, this part right here is very interesting, all right. Now, this is the End Stay Dead card, all right. Now, this is interesting because this card is a representation of a person, okay, by the name of Julian Assange. All right, now Julian Assange, all right, was actually the person that founded WikiLeaks. Okay, now WikiLeaks is a website, okay, that exposed the QAnon, all right, and a lot of the Democratic Party's nasty behavior. All right, now since this stuff has been exposed, Julian Assange actually fled to Ecuador, all right, in fear that he would be killed. Okay, now before this happened, the United States and Europe, actually put a sexual misconduct charge on him, all right, which he later denied. All right, so they were trying to set him up, and he was afraid that if he would be expedited back to America, that they would kill him. All right, but in 2016, he actually published the Democratic Party's emails. All right, so now when we see this card here, and it's a representation of him on the card, how would they? This is what I'm saying about the Donald Trump thing. How would they know that this would be him? All right, and they want to kill this dude. All right, but he's on the low right now. You know what I'm saying? He's actually on the low in the hideout. All right. Yeah, it says play this card immediately after any group has been destroyed or discarded by any player. All right, so that lets you know. All right, now the Democratic Party, Hillary Clinton, and all of them people, they all into some nasty business. We already know this, right? Yeah. So the next card is a representation of the Eliza card. All right, now Eliza is a depiction, all right, of basically Alexa, okay, and Siri and Sophia and all of this crap, right? But I find this to be very interesting here. How the heck does this card, Eliza, look just like Sophia? All right, because they planned a lot of this stuff out. All right, when you got this Alexa stuff in your house, this stuff is recording everything you saying, everything you doing. It's recording you. Some people say, well, I don't do no criminal activity, so I don't got nothing to worry about. Oh, well, yeah, it's invading your privacy. All right, it's invading your privacy. If you don't mind Big Brother watching, then yeah, okay, that's all right with you, right? But at the same time, when you have these devices in your house, in your home, it's invading your privacy. Okay, so if you're planning on doing anything, you wonder why, how does it know that I'm planning to go on vacation? Because they're watching you. They're watching everything you do. All right. And when you speak to Siri, sometimes Siri comes on by herself without you saying anything. This is all the representation of that stuff. Giving up your privacy. All right, giving away your privacy to the government, and they know everything about you, all your dirty little secrets. Now, this last card right here is the fickle finger of fate. All right, the fickle finger of fate. Now, this is a representation of a lot of the false flags, okay, that have been put out there. All right, we've heard so many Y2K. All right, the Mayan calendars. Okay, a lot of these things are depicting of the Armageddon and things of that nature, right? But this fickle finger of fate is basically a ploy to say, okay, this is going to trap the minds of humanity, because if they're telling you, oh, this is going to take place right around this time, and you're in fear for your life because this is going to take place, but then it never happens, then it makes the media come off as deceptive, right? So what they're doing is they're playing with the minds of humanity, but not once. Don't think that this stuff will not take place. All right, it can be 5 years from now, it could be 10 years from now, it could be 20 years from now, but it's going to happen. A lot of these things are going to happen. All right, so yeah, guys, I hope I touched on this card game. All right, so I had to break that down and do a part 2 for you guys. But I'm gonna be uploading another Patreon video for you guys this week. I would upload more, but I would upload more, but Patreon only gives me a certain limit of storage to actually upload videos, so I kind of got to do a few at a time. All right, but we won't be doing movie Mondays this week. I haven't had time to watch any movies. All right, but I'm gonna give you guys another upload this week. I guarantee you guys are gonna like this next one. All right, so with that being said, I hope I discussed this video in full, and hope you guys have a blessed week. Peace.